All right, let's just jump right into this. We all know YouTube can be a total goldmine, right? But have you ever stopped and wondered why some channels just rake it in while others, even with millions of views, are barely getting by? Well, the answer isn't about working harder or even making slicker videos. Nope, it all comes down to a single decision that, honestly, changes everything. So check this out. It's a bit of a puzzle. We've got two YouTube channels, both totally faceless. Channel A gets 1.4 million times fewer views every single month than Channel B, and yet it makes twice as much money. I mean, how is that even possible? It seems like it completely breaks the rules, but it actually points us directly to YouTube's biggest money-making secret. And here are the hard numbers, just to show you what I'm talking about. Channel A, which is in the psychology niche, is pulling in around 4 million views a month for about $20,000. And hey, that's not bad at all. But then you look at Channel B over in the AI niche. It's getting only 2.7 million views, but it walks away with a massive $40,000. It's the same platform, same ad system, but the results are just worlds apart. The reason why is the secret ingredient we're about to get into.
And here it is. The whole thing comes down to RPM. That stands for revenue per mil, which is just a fancy way of saying how much YouTube pays you for every 1,000 views. The psychology channel has a lower RPM, right? But the AI channel has a way higher one. And that's because advertisers are willing to pay a lot more to get in front of that specific audience. So here's the big takeaway. The single most important financial decision you're going to make as a creator is picking your niche. That's what sets your RPM.
Okay, so how does this actually look in the real world? Let's kick things off with our first huge niche category, storytelling. Now, why is this so powerful? Well, think about it. A really good story is almost impossible to click away from, and that high audience retention means people are watching more ads. And that, my friends, is exactly what advertisers are paying for.
Now, inside the world of storytelling, the undisputed king of making money is scary true stories. There's a deep, kind of primal reason for this. Once you start listening to a scary story, you have this overwhelming need to know how it ends. That suspense just builds and builds, creating incredible watch time and, as you're about to see, some pretty incredible income.
I mean, the potential here is just staggering. You've got a channel like Mr. Nightmare pulling in over $100,000 a month, and even a smaller channel like Darkness Prevails is earning a fantastic income. These aren't just flukes. This is what success looks like in this niche. And the reason is this insane RPM. We're talking $8 to $10 for every 1,000 views. That is one of the highest on the entire platform. Every single view is just worth more money because that audience is so hooked, they'll watch ad after ad just to get to the end of the story. But hey, you don't have to be Stephen King to make it in storytelling. Niches like moral and Bible stories are absolutely blowing up right now. They tap into these timeless lessons, and they have this built-in audience that's super engaged and actively looking for this kind of content. And yeah, the numbers definitely prove there's a huge demand. A channel called The Word Details is making over 10 grand a month with only 43 videos. But you know what's even better? A story you post today can keep earning you money for years. That gives this niche some serious long-term value.
So while storytelling grabs people's attention, our next category provides value in a totally different way, by saving people time. Look, we're all drowning in information, right? So channels that can take a lot of knowledge and boil it down into easy-to-digest summaries are incredibly valuable, and the ad market on YouTube definitely reflects that.
And the best example of this is book summaries. Just think about who's watching these videos. You've got entrepreneurs, students, professionals, basically people who are actively trying to level up their life. For advertisers selling things like software, courses, or business services, this audience is an absolute dream. And you can see that value reflected right there in the revenue. A Little Bit Better is earning $12,000 a month just by summarizing books. The view counts might be lower than some viral comedy channel, but the value of each viewer is so much higher, and that's what leads to this kind of solid income.
This is all backed up by a really strong RPM sitting between $5 and $8. So the key lesson here is that any niche that attracts a professional, educated audience is almost always going to have a higher RPM, simply because advertisers know those viewers have money to spend.
Okay, now we're getting into the top tier, the big leagues. These are the niches where advertisers pay the absolute most money. Why? Because the people watching these videos aren't just chilling on the couch. They have a high intent to spend money, learn about investing, or make some other major financial move. A perfect example of this is business documentaries. These videos are brilliant because they combine the super high RPM of finance with the amazing watch time of storytelling. Now, they take a ton of research and fantastic scripting, so they're definitely not easy to make, but the payoff? it can be absolutely astronomical.
This chart just lays out the trade-off perfectly. The earning potential is right up there at the top of what's even possible on YouTube, but as you can see, the ease of creation is way down low. This is a high-effort, high-reward kind of game, really meant for creators who are passionate about doing those deep dive stories.
And this is the reward we're talking about. An RPM of $12 to $20. That is the absolute peak on YouTube. It means that for every million views you get, you could be earning up to $20,000. It just completely changes the entire financial picture of being a creator. But what if you're not a business guru? Well, there's a much more accessible way to get into this space. Basic financial education. This isn't about complex stock charts. It's about simple foundational money lessons, like how to save, the habits of wealthy people, and important mindset shifts. You don't need a finance degree for this, just some good, solid research. What's really fascinating here is just how broad this success can be. You've got giants like Alex making 25 grand a month with high production videos, but then you also have channels like Practical Wisdom earning a solid 2,000 a month with simple whiteboard animations. It just proves that when you're in a higher RPM niche, even a really simple format can generate a significant income. And this really just brings us all the way back to the core idea of this entire explainer. Success on YouTube isn't about getting lucky or winning some viral lottery. It is a strategic choice, and picking the right niche is, without a doubt, the most critical decision you will ever make.
So, where does all this leave you? Well, we've seen pretty clearly that the path to a profitable channel isn't paved with more views. It's paved with more valuable views. Your choice of niche is really your decision on which path you want to take.
So, let's just sum it all up. First, your niche, not your view count, is what really drives your income. Second, high-value topics, like anything to do with money, will always attract the highest-paying ads. Third, if that sounds a bit intimidating, storytelling and summaries are fantastic, super accessible ways to build a profitable channel. But maybe the most important thing is this. You have to find a profitable niche that you're actually passionate about, because consistency in the end is what wins the game.
We've laid out all the data, all the strategy, the difference between earning $20,000 and $40,000 from basically the same amount of effort is right here in this blueprint. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?